So I'm in front of Ghost Rider right now as I'm ready to talk about my next topic. Usually when I'm out like this, I'm always talking about some real good topics, positive ones. But here I want to talk about something that's more on the negative side. I know it's been a lot of negative that I've talked about for at least the past week, more than a week now actually. So I know that, for this one here, it is regarding, like how I'm comparing the time that me and Rico had this awkward silence period. That lasted actually about a good, let's see, because when we had it, it started like right at the end of January, right? Right at the end of January in 2013. That was like after we did that Centerpoint project, and my version got picked, for it to be part of the future projects for Young Systems at the time, So that started right there with me and Rico. It was like a misunderstanding, and it was more of him that was misunderstanding it, and that's what led to where we have not talked. Or so other than work related stuff, we have not really talked for so long. It lasted for what was it, February, March, April, May, at least like a good 4 months. Yeah, it was like 4 months, dude. It was 4 months, and trust me, it was really cold. And I know it was only my first year in that workplace, but it was so cold that it was hard for me to just sit there, because me and Rico would talk every single day, right? We would talk, about stuff that's not just work related, and we were talking every single day. I know we had our ups and downs, and I remember we even did basketball together. We were shooting hoops. We played ball a couple times after work. When he was around, when we were talking. But now, ever since then, things have just not been the same. And what happened with this whole incident at home, like the past couple of weeks, trust me, I equate this one to that. I'm making that comparison to, as I see Ghost Rider pass by again. So yeah, I mean, it's I actually, it reminds me of I'm talking about this incident. It does remind me of that time with me and Rico, because it was so ugly that I feel like this one has to be a little bit uglier, to tell you the truth, because it happened at home, and considering what the circumstances were, it's not the first time me and this family member had these kind of heated arguments. This was pretty similar to the one last year on the night of Mother's Day. But it's different at that time because it happened before I started getting into, this whole mental health process. And after that, it's like everything changed throughout, as far as like, I'm not going to say it here, but, for the good. I mean, the development of family time, just getting into the middle of the year 2025 and such, right? I know that I had to readjust, right? So everything is starting to slowly, for me at least, as I'm in that readjustment period, everything was going well, and now it starts to get better. Like over the holidays, I know we had a couple of family members, like relatives, that were living with me and my family for, just about a couple, like a little over a month, and then, they ended up living their own ways somewhere else. And now after a couple of after the start of the 2026 year, and to see this ugly incident has happened, and I know, like I said, there are some things I should never have said in the heat of that moment, but what can I do? I can't take it back. I'm pretty sure that no apology once it's that family member doesn't want to hear my apology until I show. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, and look, I've had to struggle with my therapy sessions, right? So I've had to. As I see another train and Ghost Rider pass by, look, I've had to struggle with some of my therapy sessions, and there's no secret, because now even my whole family knows it. And I'm telling you, I got to get out of my dump. That's the only way, and I've said it in that video that I said, like the past, past summer, that I said it was gonna get better for me. I'm talking about my mental health if I was already in a new job. And it's exactly what Lisa had advised people to take counseling after they leave that dump. You know what I'm saying? So right now, the way it has looked ever since the whole incident is reminds me of that, that time where it felt so awkward, where I felt so cold, just sitting in my desk after that whole misunderstanding that me and Rico went through. Only this one was worse for me, considering that I was at home, which is why I had to distance myself a whole lot. Well, you know what? It starts to feel that way because, one, both incidents happened in January. One is like right in the beginning, and it's like before my birthday arrived, right? And then the second time was, the other one was me and Rico was right at the end of January. So who knows how long this is gonna last? I mean, I hate for it to happen. Like I said, I'm really tired of this whole healing process. That I'm at the point now where I'm just going out more often, to really just excuse myself from, just having to be at home and just feeling awkward and, just feeling broken after that whole incident. I mean, it is what it is. I'll admit there's part of it that's my fault, that I let my emotions get in the way. But I can only tell you that my dump is responsible for that. But it is what it is. Who knows how long it's going to heal, but it seems like nothing's healing anytime soon. Even after we had that whole family incident, I feel like this is going to last over a month, in my opinion, which is why I need to work on what I need to work on. Now, the thing is, like, for seeing the Ghost Rider train pass by 4 times already as I'm still doing this video. But look, man, the thing is, like, after what me and Rico went through, at least then I was still learning not only graphic design, but learning my role as a graphic artist and what I'm doing and what I'm doing to this day. Here on this one right here, it's what this ugly incident is now leading me to, there's really no learning opportunities here. It's more solving a problem in which I myself need to fix, or, to really start at this point, as far as like, one, it's got to be a new job, or, even though I really want to get out sooner now because of that, but I really just don't have a choice. There's really no shortcut into this. I need to get paid better. $18.50 an hour is not gonna do it for me, right? So, I just wanted to make this comparison as to this whole incident to the one that me and Rico went through a long time ago. It's already been 13 years, man, and who knows? I mean, Rico has not really reached out to me since then to see how I'm doing my job hunting, but I'm doing the best I can. I got to start buckling on that. Yes, I want to continue to go out as I should, but at the same time, I got to get myself, all the while that I'm distracting myself from any of that stuff happening, you know, I'm talking about like distracting myself from just, you know, just having a hard time trying to forget that incident, and at the same time feeling broken that I gotta, you know, at least being in outdoors now more often. Good time now. But I'm gonna finish up soon. So I gotta keep doing my part, because that's the only way that's gonna get me to, you know, to really do what I gotta do, gain my own independence and freedom. So, you know, in the end, it's gonna come down to that. So, you know, it's good for me to go out more often now. Ever since the whole incident, you know, I had like prior to that, I really did not feel like going out very much, or it has lessened. But now I'm really getting back to that, especially now that I have my knots pass. And right now I'm gonna get some lunch to catch the rest of that Broncos and Patriots game. I have a feeling that game's gonna be super close. So I'm gonna leave it at that. That's all I'm gonna say about it. So tell me what you guys think, man. Peace out. Thank you for watching, everyone. Like, share, and subscribe.